another survival informational video, and I wanted to show y'all a quick little trick that I kind of designed. Somebody kind of gave me a rough idea about potentially using a yo-yo trap as a rabbit snare. You know, this is a really lightweight little item that I put in a lot of my different kits, especially like a scout kit or something where weight is a real issue. This thing will work time and time again for a variety of different uses, and I'm going to show you today how we can hang this thing up to have a ready-made trigger that is ready to rock and roll as soon as we unwind it. So basically the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to attach a wire to the outlet up here. So in case when the animal wriggles, he doesn't necessarily wriggle it to where the metal will cut some form of cordage. Then I also have wrapped around the actual spool here another wire which is going to serve as the snare. And the beautiful thing about this is it's exactly like having a spring snare, but a modernized version. Once I get this yo-yo hooked up, you pull it, and then it provides tension exactly as a tree would to try to wear the animal out. So it's going to take me approximately about 5 minutes to set one of these up, and I'll show you how we do it. So the first thing to do when setting up a rabbit snare is to look for rabbit runs or areas that the rabbit might be moving in and out of. And this is a really good one in a transition area, right from a real thick area where they're probably bedding to another area that's a food transition area. And you can see it's really well run into the ground, and there's plenty of obvious sign here for us to put up a trap. This is the first thing that you're going to want to do in any trapping, is to make sure that you track the animals and make sure this trail is fresh so that you don't waste one of your traps. Alright, so here's essentially how the trap works. You have a yo-yo that's attached pretty far up on a tree limb, about 4 feet above where the actual snare is going to be. And basically I've just taken a piece of wire and wrapped it around. And one of the reasons that we want to do this is so that there's plenty of tension on the actual yo-yo all the way down to the actual snare. And it's a good idea to actually remove some of the cord from the yo-yo so that there is more tension when the snare is actually triggered. And it's real important to funnel. You'll notice I have sticks over here. I've got a cross stick to kind of hold my snare in place. And you'll notice that there's some sticks over in this area to kind of block him in. This trap is excellent for a lot of different reasons. You can deploy it really quickly. It's super lightweight. You don't want to catch anything much larger than a rabbit or squirrels, because it'll probably trash your yo-yo. But a little bit of tracking can help with that, and that's essentially how it works. Now we're going to show you how to set it off. It's super simple how this thing works. This can be used in an urban setting or in a wilderness setting. You know, if shit hits the fan and you've got a trap around your suburban, backwoods and little places like that, you can throw up these yo-yo traps really quickly. They're good for all kinds of different stuff, but it's essentially just like a primitive spring trap would work. The animal comes along, the snare tightens, and then pulls the trigger, and then it keeps constant tension so that the snare doesn't wriggle loose, and you make sure that you've got the animal right up until the end. Alright, so that's another quick and simple method for effectively snaring game in the wild, especially, in a bug out type situation where you've got to leave your house. You've got these yo-yo traps, and you've got a little bit of picture wire. Essentially all that snare wire was some picture wire you can pick up at the hardware store for about $3 for about 25 feet, and you can probably do about 10 different traps. You only need a couple of feet of actual wire in order to set this trap up. I set these up in about 5 minutes, if that. You can set them up fairly quickly. There's a lot of different methods for using this. You can even do it just with the rope if that's all you've got and you don't have any wire. You just make that, you put some Y sticks into the ground and kind of allow the rope to form using some sticks so that it'll stay in place. We'd appreciate it if you drop any kind of ideas for videos for us. This was actually an idea from some commentary from one of the guys that watches our YouTube channel. So if you've got anything to drop, that you'd like to see, don't hesitate to private message me and let me know the kind of videos that y'all are interested in. We appreciate y'all subscribing, and that's really the best way to help support us. Thanks.